talking about who you became at
Yeah.
21. Who,
Yeah. Even just like before,
no, no, but who did you become at 21? Who was Jahna at 21?
oh, at 21.
Hmm.
Oh my God, at 21, that was a crazy year. That
Really?
was, um, I definitely became a freedom fighter,
Oh,
and I
really?
became a mom.
And a mom.
But pardon me. At 21, I was in London, right? I decided that I'm definitely going to work on my studio, and started, inviting people as I was like now more confident as a producer, and I knew different things. And I've been in the UK for some time, right? And then I got pregnant at 21. And so that was like a big shock to me because I had to all of a sudden realize how I'm going to become a mom. 'Cause this was not something I was prepared for. I
Hmm.
have never looked after a child in my life before that. My friends were even like joking, like, what are you going to do with her? You're going to put her on a mixing desk, you know? But yeah, I became a mom, and I just like it came naturally to me. And because of the experiences I had during my pregnancy, I became a freedom fighter as well, which reflected on my music. So I
So,
became a full-on musician, a freedom fighter, and a mom.
so how would you say motherhood has changed you?
It changed me completely. Like, there was life before I became a mother, and life afterwards. Um, I would say I realized what the most important thing is what unconditional love is, because uh, I am, I have to be there for my child, put her needs before mine every single day. And obviously before that I was living for myself, like I was trying to help out my mom, but I was still just a young person, trying to get around, and maybe like do something positive in the world and trying to change social things. But unconditional love to your child is completely different, because you're responsible for them. So I became more responsible. I realized that everything from that point that I plan in my life and everything that I do will be reflected on her. And I have to pick and choose very carefully what I'm going to do. So that even includes my career, certain things, certain people. That includes also my social circle as well. Like sometimes I meet people and I can't introduce them closely into my circle because I might think they might not be safe for my daughter,
Right.
or I wouldn't think like that. You know what I mean? I was more, uh, how to say, I was more risky.
Risk. What are
But
most
now
people
I can't afford to be that risky because I'm responsible for a child.
understood? What are most people surprised to learn about you when they get to know you?
Um, they are, well, I guess some people, depending on the situation where they meet me, because I can be actually shy in certain situations. um, Depending where they meet me, but they realize that I do have a very deep interest in philosophy, and I try to kind of uh, look very deep into life. So I don't really go through, just with the flow and just let things happen. Everything that happens, I overanalyze it and bring it down to some theory, and to uh, like they realize that I'm a quite deep person. Uh,
You
Maybe
be,
outside they might see, oh, she's just a performer, doing this and doing that, bubbly.
and you believe that every bad situation, or when someone is at your worst presents you a canvas to paint a new life or a new opportunity. Um, you've had your highs and lows. What is one situation that comes to mind when you think of a defining moment in your life, maybe a low point in your life that really helped to transform you in some way or the other?
Um, I had a few, but I'll say probably the main one. was when I was pregnant and I was detained for 2 months
Two
at
months.
2 months, yes,
Wow.
at immigration detention center in the UK. It's called Yaleswood, and it actually has a really bad reputation for all the things that happen in there, including racism, right, within it. Uh, and when I was there, because I was not convicted of anything, I have not committed any crime. The only reason why I was there was because the officer made a mistake and they had to fill in quotas or something like that to make sure a certain amount of immigrants left the country. So I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they didn't deal with my case the right way. So when I was detained, it was like a complete surprise, and it was a really weird situation because there were different people there, obviously, of different backgrounds, some crazy characters as well. But there were people who actually have committed crimes, and they knew why they have spent their time before um, in prisons, right? Because they've done something, they were convicted, and they knew. But even they were kind of confused because they were thinking like, can't we just go home? Because why are we spending here some time indefinitely? Like more time, a few more months. Some people spend there a year or even more. Now there were refugees, there were children, there were like even babies. I've seen them, and in that case, you just don't know why are you being excluded from the world. What have you done? This is real prison,
Were you
right?
angry?
I was um, I was frustrated, definitely, because I was away from my studio and I was pregnant as well. So I could not get anything that a pregnant woman needs, right? I was craving for food, and the only food that they had was very limited. And it was sometimes it was expired, in terms of the date, like potatoes were with soil or something. I posted loads of comments in the complaining book, like saying, "Do you think we're pigs or something? I want lobsters. I'm pregnant." I'm actually craving for stuff. I spent Christmas and New Year's Eve there, so watching on TV how people celebrate New Year's outside.
So how did you challenge that? How did you channel that frustration?
Um, so every day I still try to keep connected to the music. So I still practice my singing no matter what, even if it was too loud. And I continued. I continued just like trying to, fight for my case to the core of it. Also, at the same time, you see, like what happened is like pretty much all my friends who I thought were my friends in UK, majority of them pretty much left me as soon as they found out where I was, because that's what happens. People just leave and abandon you, and then they come back when you're on top. So they all came back afterwards.
What do you have?
Yeah,
And did
yeah.
you welcome them in open arms?
Not with open arms, not as much as I was thinking. Like you were drinking tea in my house, right? you were here, like, and I was helping you out, and when I needed you, you were just not there. Like, so yeah, I did not. I welcomed them with skepticism, very deep skepticism.
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Now, being solo, say to new things, hello, and I keep on dreaming, keep on walking, though you're rolling my sleep, and I keep on dreaming, keep on walking, maybe I'm a creep, one day. Change my life, turn my heart into little pieces. One day I woke up on the other side of dreams, but I'll remember those pieces. One day, change my life, turn my heart into little pieces. One day I woke up on the other.
We are back with Jahna Sebastian. Jahna, tell us about the women in your life who helped to shape who you are today.
Currently, I'd say obviously my mother
Uh huh.
has has been a great influence in my life. Um, and she has always been there for me in the hard times as well. And, she's celebrating all the successes as well. And she's a friend. We're very close. So wherever I go, she comes with me. Um, it was also my great grandmother. Definitely, I always look up to her image in my head. She passed away when I was about 17, but
Yeah.
she lived to the age of 92, and she had a magnificent life. I mean, she was so strong. She was such a strong woman, and she had 4 children. She raised them all, working really hard from the age of 15. This is we're talking about 1920s, right? She was working as a teacher in a school at the age of 15. Um, she has lived through terrible uh, World War One, Civil War, revolution in Russia, and World War Two in Russia, where Hitler was right there. Do you know what I mean? And it was crazy. But she survived, and she was like one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life, and she always had that wisdom about her. So it has shaped me a lot.
So,
She could do anything. She could build a house. She could, she was a real Russian woman. That strong lady. But at the same time, she could be, nice and cute. Whenever needed, as well.
so
So
who else? Your mother, your great grandmother, and who else?
I would say there was a piano teacher that I had, and she was very influential on my spirituality.
Uh-huh.
She opened my eyes. There was also a lady who was my mom's friend, and she actually was as well a very strong woman. The reason why I was looking up to her is that she achieved everything in life, despite the fact that she had an accident when she was in a bus, which left her disabled from the age of 20. Right, so for the next 50 years, she spent in a wheelchair. However, she still managed to get PhD in chemistry, and she was a very highly acclaimed professional. She got married, she had a child, and raised a wonderful son. And she never complained in her entire life. She was such a positive person, and she was like always helping. And when my mom um, was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one that I could call. I couldn't call my friends at that point. Like I was 16. And
When you were listening, when you want to relax and to get away from it all, whose music are you listening to?
I listen to Bob Marley.
Good
Yeah,
choice.
yeah, he's actually been one of my role models as an artist.
What do
I
you What do you remember about the first time you performed in front of a huge crowd? What was that like?
uh, it was amazing. I was in front of the really big crowd. Like you mean, because obviously I was performing at school and things like that.
Mhm. And you're also an actress.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
I started doing little bits and pieces in acting from back in Russia, and I was actually cast for a Pepsi commercial
Oh, really?
in Russia. Yes, but my parents, because I was 11, right, and my parents did not allow me to accept it because I was supposed to appear in bikini, and they did not want me to do that at the age of 11. My dad was very strict. So then later on, I was cast to be in a musical. That was a theatre project, and then when I came to UK, I started taking part in different movie commercials, joined agencies, and doing that as well. So I put that experience into my music videos as well. I act in them sometimes.
You're currently working on your new EP, Love Over Hate,
Yes.
and recently released a new single, Us. Tell us about Love Over Hate. What inspired that?
Love Over Hate was actually inspired by things that I've seen last year, especially on my Facebook, about what was happening in Ukraine.
Hmm.
And that is at the same time connected to loads of other things that are happening in the world, especially today. Um, and I realized that sometimes people were just arguing over the political opinion that they had, forgetting that innocent people have lost their lives or their loved ones, forgetting about real human situations, just arguing based on what political camp they are on and hating on each other because of that. So I realized that sometimes that type of hate as well, it gets in the way. So I wrote a song, Love Over Hate, about um, love trying to conquer hate, and us kind of every day having that battle within ourselves.
Hmm.
Uh, when meet negative situations, um, and how to find that love, and at the same time in the world as well, with everything that's happening.
How does your spirituality influence your work?
I have actually gone through quite a few um, levels of, or not even levels, but just different paths
Hmm.
in my spirituality. I studied different religions. I did sing in the choir as well at Russian Orthodox Church when I was like 16, 17. And I studied Rastafarian faith. I studied Islam a little bit because I've got friends. I studied Buddhism, and I came to kind of like my own version of how I understand the universe and the world, um, based on how I feel. I'm a
Hmm.
very intuitive person, so to start with, when I write lyrics, sometimes I write about future events, or something that I feel that is going to take over the world. So, my intuition connected to the fact when I feel like very spiritual. Like that's part of uh, my creativity. You
I am compelled to ask you to sing something for us, if you don't mind. Um,
okay?
anything that comes to mind.
Oh, anything. Okay. Uh, yeah, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna sing. I'm just gonna sing "Love Over Hate." Do you mind?
Okay, no, go ahead.
Can we find love in abandoned place? Who's gonna reap the fruits of this war today? Nobody needs this fighting. Nothing can pay tears. Let's just stop denying that we all need peace. Is it worth it? Do you care? Is it only way to be fair? The history has to be made. The victory of love over hate, love over hate, eh, eh. Love over hate, eh, eh. Love over hate, eh, eh. Love over hate, eh, eh.
Awesome. I want to read some comments from the chat room.
Yes.
Charles, what do you like about performing, and who would you like to perform with?
I like, the main thing is the energy that I get as well within myself whenever I go on stage. And I love people, I love connecting, and the fact that it brings people of all cultures and races and nations and backgrounds into the same place because they wanted to hear the music. And you're there as an artist performing it. That's the amazing part of it. And that it brings the experience both to my life and to people's life that they can take away and then connect it to their lives. And there's lots of people that I would like to perform with. I'd love to perform with Pharrell.
With who?
Yeah, I think he's really cool. He's like one of the producers I look up to as well, and he's an artist. So he's kind of like doing, something like both sides. I'd like to perform with Adele, but I'm sure everybody wants to perform with her.
Okay.
I'd love to perform with Beyonce, but I'll definitely have to work really hard because she's just perfect, right? Yeah.
And Kendall London said, "Great show so far, guys. You're looking great. You're looking great, Jay." And Kari asked, "What is it like performing in front of a big crowd?"
Time slows down, like in the Matrix, right? So you feel like really slow. Like you could be on stage for 5 minutes, but it feels like a whole week. The amount of energy that is within you, it's like as well, like you feel really, really, I don't know, like something really big happened, and then it's like you fly. Because also you getting ready for that, and imagine you have all of those emotions within you, and then you go on stage and it's like electricity going through you, going through the people, and just feel the energy. Just feel it's, especially when the people are responding back to you. It's just one of those experiences that you want to continue.
Wow.
Have them own over and over again.
Kari said, "Awesome. When are you coming to the US?"
Hopefully very soon. I'm just waiting for my, like for a few things to be sorted out here in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to coming there soon. Maybe in a few time.
And Wendell asked, "Do you still get nervous on stage?"
I don't have stage fright as much as I used to when I was a child. I overcame that once and for all. But I obviously do get a little bit nervous thinking about, well, what are the people going to be like? What is their sound and the acoustics? And thinking about all the sound engineering stuff. Mainly getting nervous about the performance and the sound being good enough. Not as much about the people. But at the same time, if I'm performing something new, then I'm thinking, okay, how are they going to receive it? Because now is the moment when the song is going to leave my head and my mind and start living its own life. That's, when you perform it for the first time or release it, when it starts entering other people's lives.
As a producer, how would you describe your sound?
My personal sound.
Yes.
Is probably just an eclectic mixture of a few different genres and subgenres, like R&B and pop, and got some house tracks as well, hip hop, of course. And I like to put loads of melodies in there, so I could have like a hip hop type of beat, but then I'll still have the melodies.
What is the hardest part of producing?
The hardest part, sometimes it's finishing the track. Because sometimes you have some crazy idea, you start it, and then you think, oh, what else do I need to do to make sure that it's finished? And also the hardest part, yeah, completing it, because you start being a perfectionist and thinking, when is it gonna, like, just starting focusing on some little details that no one is gonna even, see or notice later on, but you're still there tweaking all those details and
Okay.
and not being able to let the song just live.
Would performing in Russia be on your bucket list?
Pardon?
Would performing in Russia be on your bucket list?
Maybe at some point. Well, right now I'm a political refugee here, so I can't go. To
Oh, okay.
But if at some point the situation changes there, and Russia becomes a better place in that sense, then yeah, probably that will be like a big comeback show.
You clearly keep yourself busy, Jahna. What's next? Theater, TV, film, an album, all of the above?
All of that. I am finishing my EP Love Over Hate, which is the third EP in the installment to the trilogy After the Age of Love, and I'm Free. I'm also more and more getting involved into the fashion industry, working with various designers, and particularly modeling as well, on the catwalk, or during fashion shoots, on TV. There's a show that's coming up on TV this Saturday, where I'm in the fashion show for Chloe Nova, and so the fashion industry, definitely. Maybe at some point I'll be looking into designing myself as well, and channeling my visual artist, inner visual artist into that. Definitely more acting as well. So I'll be getting more and into acting, and I actually want to get more into directing as well, because I've
So,
directed
with
videos.
such a demanding schedule, how do you find, how do you find, how do you strike the balance between work and family, friends and leisure?
Um, it's not easy, of course.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much majority of my time consists of looking after my child and work, and of course, like, I'm a full-time mother, so I have to kind of schedule everything around my daughter's time and her school and things like that. So that's my number one priority. Sometimes I have to sacrifice a coffee with someone I know for the studio time. And to be honest, being a producer and being in the studios can be quite antisocial. And I just want to warn anybody who wants to be a producer, it can get. And you could have people calling you and saying, "Hey, there's a party, there's this, that," and you'll be like, "No, I'm sitting there for 10 hours mixing. I need to finish this. I have deadlines," or something like that.
What is one thing? What is one thing you like? You really like about being you?
Probably just being able to do all of those things.
and
Curious about those things, because curiosity is the thing.
curiosity. And the one thing about you don't like?
I can have bad temper.
Oh, really? When,
I'm working on that. I became much more calm, now.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So,
When are you most happy?
I'm most happy in the studio.
In the studio.
And also, obviously, when I see my daughter do something amazing, or just simple things like show me her drawings or something like that, and I'm thinking, oh wow. And I'm happy as well when I see people around me do well in life.
Yes.
And my mom, when I see them coming up and doing something.
If your mom, your great grandmother, and the music teacher were to be telling someone about you, a stranger, and you just happen to overhear them, as quickly as possible, what do you think each of them would say about you?
Uh, well, they'll say that
Let's start with mom.
my mom,
Yeah.
she'd say it's not easy to deal with her because she's my mom, right? So that's what moms think. But she'll say, "Oh, she will always get her way." Like,
Is that true?
yeah. So
Oh,
she'll
okay.
say, like, I'll always get what I want, and because of that, I'm a go-getter. At the same time, I'm also a leader in that sense. Because
And great grandma?
great grandma, well, the first thing obviously when she saw me, she was quite astonished because like she did not expect, like with my great grandmom, everybody else in our family is like Russian,
Right.
When she saw me when I was born, she was like, "Oh wow!" Like she was like, "Oh, I love her." Like I've never seen anybody like that, like so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like she was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And she was like really proud, actually.
And your music teacher?
My music teacher would say that I'm very determined.
Determined.
Yes.
She gets her own way. She is beautiful and amazing, and she's determined. Are those accurate?
Yeah, probably, but I find it hard to describe myself. To be
I
honest.
understand.
Because
What
I
I-
don't. I'm seeing how I can describe whatever I have within myself in music, and then I kind of like get surprised.
I'm going to ask you this though. What are two things that, when people ask you to describe yourself, what are two things that come to mind that you never ever say?
I never say. And you want me
Yes, that you're reluctant to say, you never ever say, but there are two things that come to mind to describe you.
I never say them, but you want me to say them now?
Well, I mean, you know.
Sometimes I just want to tell them that I can be a very private person, and to some people I want to, when you meet people and sometimes they start asking you questions that are a bit too private. And
Yes.
With me, I want to tell them straight away. I'm very private. I don't want to discuss that. I want to talk about like music and things like that and politics. And whatever.
I hear that.
I want to say that to people, that I just meet, so that they don't.
What are you most thankful for?
And also another thing is
Okay.
I want to don't boss me around
Don't boss your.
because I'm the boss.
Of course, the producer. So, what are you most thankful for?
I'm most thankful for still being alive, even though I've been in situations where I could have lost my life, because of racism, because of detention, that I'm still able, that I still became free and I was released. And yeah, I'm thankful for having this life here, and being in those tough situations where it was like literally between life and death, and somehow it all got together. I'm still and I'm doing my thing here.
If 5 years from now, you're sitting opposite me having a conversation, and you're telling me one thing that you would have achieved, what would that one thing be?
One thing that I've achieved.
Right, 5 years from now, if we were having this conversation again, and you're telling me of one thing that you would have accomplished, what would that be?
I would love to be able, by that point, to create enough through music that I'll be able to help people, in disadvantaged situations, in places. So I would love to be able to achieve that point where I could actually, do something on a big scale in terms of philanthropy. I
If you
think
could
that's
go, If you
you
could
know.
go back, if you could go back in time, what would you tell 15-year-old Jahna?
Um, I would I would probably tell don't be so risky, because at that point I was just crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going, straight into situations, and
And my final question, what makes you laugh out loud?
um, what makes me laugh out loud?
Yes.
Right now,
Right now?
right now, um, definitely a good joke, but at the same time, sometimes haters make me laugh out loud. Like they might say something so ridiculous, you think like, oh, like they really literally live under my table and they just know everything. They literally live in my bedroom or something, like in my kitchen,
Well, Jahna, I want to thank you so much for staying up this late to have this
Oh, thank you so
conversation with
much.
us. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed very much talking to you as well and being on your show. And thanks to everybody who tuned in and in the chat room who's been asking these questions and all your feedback. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this is Selwyn Collins saying good night, and fear not what fear whispers to you, fear your obedience to it.
Okay.
Good night.
Sure. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.